It's very clear when you look at best practice internationally that innovation districts are, by definition, partnerships. So you need the startup community, the large companies, the universities and government. And most importantly, you need this shared strategic ambition to create something that is really visible internationally.
What I think we've learned in Cambridge around this, and we're fortunate to have another great university, actually two, Harvard and MIT are both in the area, as those sort of anchor institutions, is that having the anchor institution alone is not enough. So MIT has been in Cambridge for over 100 years, but for most of the history of the Cambridge area, you actually did not see a lot of innovation going on there. You actually have to do something, and it requires the university, but it actually requires the active engagement of policymakers, of the universities, of the corporates, to get together and say, okay, we're going to actually build something here which is healthy and strong. What we did at Cambridge Innovation Center starting 20 years ago was we picked one building in the middle of that space, and we broke it up into tiny little chunks that now serve about 2,000 little startup companies in some 300,000–400,000 square feet. We have, I think, just in the buildings right next to each other in this middle of Kendall Square, we have more venture capital, a few years ago when I calculated it, more venture capital than all of the UK was in the two buildings in the middle of Kendall Square. But that wasn't true when we started. There was no venture capital. So what happened was when you build these sort of concentrators of startups in one place, it draws in the investors, it draws in the experts, and as a result you get this kind of alchemy where people say, oh wow, if I graduate from one of the local universities and I have an idea, if I go in here I'll probably get funded, I'll find people who know what they're doing who can help me get successful, and I can build a global business right here in Dublin.
So a few characteristics of innovation districts is that they're disruptors. It's not building buildings, it's building a community. Business parks have vertical relationships. Innovation communities have horizontal relationships. Business parks, pretty much everything you need is inside that corporate building. You don't have to go outside. Antithetical to that, innovation communities curate an environment with horizontal connections, with amenities that are strewn throughout the district that get people out of their labs and out of their offices to interact with a lot of programming. The pulse beat of the district and of any innovation district is the programming that feeds. It's the media. It's the day-to-day watering hole for the entrepreneurs. It's that interaction. So we probably have 40 or 50 different programs that occur over the course of the year, and on any given week, 3 or 4 programs that are some of which are putting new entrepreneurs into the system. One program we have put 70 new entrepreneurs into Cortex every year through boot camps.
It takes a lot of different partners to really build a strong innovation district, and so you need accelerators, incubators in a district hall, but universities, policymakers, and government, but corporates have to be there as well. The reason corporates need to be there is because it gives you a beachhead for scanning what's happening in terms of industry and new technology.
Ireland has all of the ingredients that it would need to become one of the top 2 or 3 global innovation hubs. I think you have the universities, I think you have the talent, I think you have the global connectivity, you have the English language.